Yet again, I've been slacking hardcore with filming, but it is a very exciting time because we have the guys from HTG on the computer helping us with the GCU, getting the trans tune all dialed in, and we are officially adding fluid to the trans. Alberto, what do you think about this automatic trans sorcery?
It's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. So, another issue that we've been kind of fighting. Earlier today, my friend Andrew from Mustang Lifestyle stopped by with his, what's the program called again?
Scan.
Okay, Scan.
Yeah.
With an A. So it's a program, how would you describe it? It plugs in the OBD port and lets you like access back-end stuff on the car?
Yeah, so if you don't have an IDS tool, it allows you to connect to the PCM, the APIM, which is basically all of the different things that run this stuff. So you can actually do a lot of different cool things with it if you were to swap like a radio into it or a digital cluster, and you can change a lot of different things.
Well, you thought you were going to go over here and help us code a key, and then we realized that nothing on the car worked.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. The harness that's in here, the dash harness, hopefully the one from the other car is different, and then we put that in here and then it works.
So if you remember, we kind of like picked and pulled certain parts from the black car, and we've started just taking everything from the black car because of the fact that it seems like there's some differences and the car's just really mad and certain things aren't working, certain things are showing up with errors. So Johan just pulled the dash out of the black car that we're going to try to pop in since there are some variances in the harness. And hopefully with all that stuff plugged in, it'll be happy enough to at least, you know, have some buttons working and not just be mad and beeping at us. So not as much fun as 240s, huh?
No, but yeah, it should be all right as long as everything is good. And
so is this stuff hard easy or easy hard? That's the question.
this is easy hard.
Okay, and then the other stuff was the hard easy.
Hard easy, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cake.
Yeah, this is a thing around here lately because everything's easy, but some stuff's hard easy and other stuff's easy hard. Like this stuff is hard easy, but easy, or no, this stuff's easy hard. Yeah, because you think it'd be easy, but it's actually hard. Where like building an engine is hard easy because compared to this stuff, it's easy, but it's actually hard.
You just confused the crap out of it. Yep.
Why?
Stop using that word so lightly.
How crazy is it that right now the Mustang is being shifted by people over in Poland? That's wild. I see the wheels going. We're not touching anything. Don't want to get ahead of myself here, but there have been large improvements. Is that safe to say large improvements, Andrew?
Yeah. Well, the key, the
Don't say it. Okay. We have to make them watch till the end of the video. Because if we tell them everything good now, they're going to click off, they're going to go watch TJ Hunt.
Oh boy.
No, we love you. Actually, you can't. Hey, you're good. Check this out. You ready?
Oh, the battery's dead.
Oh. Check this out. You hear that?
Yeah.
We didn't have working key before, so ready? But the best thing, ready? Check it out. Ready? Keyless. It didn't work before. Moment of truth. All right, look at this now. Before we had the dash all freaking out and everything. Dash looks somewhat happy. We got a couple. I think it works.
Nice.
So yeah, it works. Look at that.
Clear all them codes.
All right, so now the next thing we got to do is hold down the clutch switch, which is. You want to hold it down?
Yep.
Tell me when you're holding it.
I'm holding.
All right, we're in park. No tap, but it runs. turbo timer.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has something to do with like the fuel relays because it's bypassed for the aftermarket fuel
It's
system.
possible, or it could be from where I'm tapping into the ignition.
That's crazy. So you got a clutch switch on an auto car. See that, bro? I will never appreciate attack as much as I do now. Look. Dude, I think I have power steering.
I felt it. Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo! That's you.
It wasn't working before.
So is the dash?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
plugs were all different. That's huge though, to have the tack and the start button.
Yay!
Congrats.
Big shout out to Trevor on this because he basically was the person that figured out the whole crank signal thing and figured out that that's all it needed to start, where if we had to go through figuring all that stuff out, definitely would have taken us a lot longer. All right, we're officially into day 2, and hopefully this is the day when we're gonna get the Barra running. But before we head over to the shop, I wanna give a quick merch plug. If you guys remember, I showed you these when they were in production. This is the final look of our own in-house tie-dyes. So it's definitely a little bit time-consuming, a little bit of a lengthy process, so they're more expensive than our normal t-shirts. But as of right now, when this video just went up, we just launched these limited edition tie-dyes. They're hand-dyed, washed, and everyone's a little bit unique in its own way. So most of them have black and pink like this, but there's just small little variants. And we got a couple other things I'm gonna show you real quick. We have this new design that we have in white and black, a restock of the pink hoodies, a restock of the black hoodies, and then what you guys have been asking for forever, we finally did a restock on those sun hats. So that's all available down below in the description, and I'm gonna be running some sort of sale that I'm too tired to have thought up of what it's gonna be, but that's gonna be in the description because hopefully by the time this video is up, I will have made a decision on that. So if we want this thing running today, it is going to need a transcooler plumbed in. I mean, I guess we could run without transcooler, that'd be kind of sketchy. So I took the stock one, which conveniently this car already has one, so it has all the bracketry and everything. And the intercooler piping, conveniently enough, doesn't actually interfere. So I can kind of put this in the stock location, and we can figure out where we're gonna put the aftermarket one. So one thing that I'm working on now, if you remember, we're not going to be doing the full CAN integration until I get this car up to Wiring Specialties up north. And we want to run the fans from the stock ECU. And for the stock ECU to be able to see coolant temp, it needs a coolant temp sensor. So rather than putting the stock coolant temp sensor in the system, what I did is I've been measuring the voltage and comparing it to make sure it's somewhat close, because we can just tap these wires into the coolant temp sensor that's in the back of the Barra head that's being used with a Haltech software, and then hopefully get close enough data so that the fans will trigger on when the car starts to get warm. So I just double check that by putting this in some boiling water. I saw temps around like 190, put it in ice water, saw temps at the bare minimum that the sensor will read, which is about 40 degrees. So since the computer is currently calibrated for the other sensor, it's safe to say that they're close enough to where we can splice those wires in and use the OEM fan activation to keep the car cool. The beauty of this, because of the fact that it's Ford to Ford, stuff like the crank sensor was identical. It appears as if the coolant temp sensors use the same voltage or whatever, but just the plugs were a little bit different in this case.
What I did today was make sure that the shifter, the automatic shifter, was working. What I found out was that when we swapped the dash from the newer 2018 GT350, it has revisions for automatic cars. So like probably they use it for the same as the 5.0 automatics. So I didn't have to wire in anything from the clutch pedal to disengage the shifter. So now I press the brake pedal, it releases the shifter.
Gotcha.
Well, the automatic shifters, which is good. The car will still require a clutch switch because it's using the GT350 ECU. You press the clutch switch, start right up. So
That's cool.
yeah, and it works like factory.
Manual pedal and an auto.
Yep.
Turns it off now. Is that what you did?
That's what I was working with.
So that's sick. We can turn the car off now. One thing though, something is weird with the temp sensor because the car's reading that it's negative 20 degrees. Dude, I have to have it in park to shut it off. How funny is that?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's like an automatic car.
No, automatic cars shuts off even if it's not in park.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Forward. We're working on it. This was a photo shoot, but this might be one of our best ideas we've ever come up with.
I mean, I think so.
What do you think's gonna happen, Michael?
I don't know, but I would just say duck.
Dude, it pulled it right to me. Oh, I think the wheel gets stuck. I think this would work if we like were able to get it more through. Okay.
Yep. Adam made a crazy cart trailer.
It works pretty well, except for my arms getting decapitated. Mike, I'm telling you, this is how all the professional loggers travel.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Was that on purpose?
No, the speed bump did it.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
We
did.
made it a mile over here with no issue. It's like you pull off the camera, he's down on the ground.
Ow.
You good, bro?
You caught my leg in between the bars.
All right, I'll go around the next one.
Okay.
So yeah, today I came in trying to look over the headlights and the brackets because we mounted this one. This one has all the brackets we need to hold it in place so everything is solid. But then when we come to this side, a lot of the brackets are broken off because this is where the accident happened on the donor car. And so there's two main brackets that hold the headlight. So that should be pretty easy to use. Just make a metal bracket come out of there and get that side mounted. And then the other thing was the aftermarket oil cooler for the trans. We were having issues with clearance with the wheel and the fan. So what I did was, instead of modifying the bracket or any of these nice like ducting for the fan,
Yeah.
I just put some rivets on there to make it fit in the wheel, so it has the clearance between the wheel and the fan before I chop these off, because now this is like not usable.
Yeah.
But now I have Showman cleaning up the front bumper so I could muck it up, make sure that it clears right here, because this is a little wider than the stock one. So as long as that clears, then this is set. Run the lines to the transmission. And then another thing that I did yesterday, and it's kind of like a good step. At first we had the stock Voodoo engine harness mucked up to the ECU what leads from the Barra engine for the crank signal and the coolant temp sensor.
Yeah.
So what I did yesterday was finalize that the connections to the ECU using only what's required, and then so I took out that harness from the ECU from the Voodoo engine, so that's off, and now it's only using the required wires to make the car happy, or the stock computer
Just
happy.
like 2 wires.
Yeah, literally 3 wires, coolant, and then the crank signal.
That's crazy.
And so the car runs, starts up, it's reading coolant temp, which is good. We just have to go into the ECU, and Adam is gonna adjust the temperature where the fans come on, because there might be a slight variance on the temperature of the sensors. So we want them to come on earlier than normal, just to be safe for now. That's done. The car now doesn't have anything from the other engine. It's all by itself, and it works.
I had to cut it at a little bit of an angle since the downpipe is not like full vertical. So that little bit of angle allows me to have the pipe straight through the frame rail. Now we have this UJ bin, and I want to route the pipe towards the center of the car. So I'm guessing right about here with my fingers. I already did a line, so I'm gonna cut it here. Then I'm gonna do another 45 that's gonna go right underneath the drive shaft in the center of the car. So I'm scotch brightening the pipe a little bit to give it a nicer finish. Since the furnace is a little bit on the raw side, it's a normal look. It's not rough, it's just like
It's like fence post.
superficial, not very aesthetically looking.
Yeah.
And then this looks a lot better. We just plain old nice scotch brightening, like just start sanding it like this. And it makes it look way better.
Much better.
All right, so one thing, I don't know if we've actually properly communicated this, but I really want to try to make the stock GT350 tips work. Reason being, I want it to be kind of like a stock-like swap, and part of like the identifying factor of the GT350 has always been the quad exhaust tips. I'm a little worried because I think having not one, but two, what would this be called, a merge, a split?
Y-pipe.
A Y-pipe. Y-pipes tend to make things kind of sound a little funny sometimes, so I'm hoping that it won't have that effect. But I really want to try this route, and I'm just kind of like fingers crossed that it's going to sound good. So that's what you can expect to see in the next video, as well as hopefully moving it under its own power. I know the HTG guys have been traveling, so they're going to get on this as soon as they possibly can and get the Mustang ripping. And then as soon as we get that done, Freddie's ready to tune it. So it's going to be a very exciting next couple of videos. Remember, merch too is out now. I forgot to make note that these aren't actually just a restock. It is our newer logo, but other than that, it's the same great hat that has 38 5-star reviews. Thanks to you guys.
38, not 37?
38? Wow. Yeah, 38. But yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, KY.
Mike, I'm telling you, this is how all the professional vloggers travel.
When you say
No, the speed bump did it.
when you say